Good morning, everyone. Today, talking about the database management system, which publish belongs to the fifth semester BSc. Okay, so today I would like to teach the data models. So, what is data model? What are the advantages of the data models? I was discussed in previous classes. So, if you want to read out, please watch the typical videos. Next, today I am talking about the data models. So, actually, data models are actually five types. Data models are available in the DMS. Okay, first one is the hierarchical data model. Second one is the network data model. Third one is the relation data model. Fourth one is object oriented relational data model. Fifth one is entity relational model. Okay, so we are already aware in the previous class what is data model, what are the advantages of the data model. So data model is a clear view of the database, so which gives the a better enforcement of data with a better data. Okay, so by using better data we can do the efficient work by using the database. Okay, so, today I'm talking about the fourth data model, that is called object oriented relational data model. Okay, object oriented object oriented relational data model. Okay, so ORB, object oriented relational data models. Okay, so this data model is a different way. It works as a different ways in the compared to previous data models. Okay, so object oriented relational data model. So what is object and oriented here? Okay, in Java programming is a object oriented relational object oriented programming language is a Java. Okay, today I am talking about the data model. So what is data model here? Data model is a clear way of the database to do the a better enforcement of data, to do the efficient work of using database. Okay, so object oriented relational data model can be implemented in two ways. Data object oriented data model can be implemented by in two ways, that is called based on the object oriented principle, and second one is the based on the relationship between the entities and the ER diagrams. Okay, so this model can be implemented in two ways. This model can be implemented in two ways. First one is the based on the object oriented principles. Object oriented principles, and second one is the relationship relationship between entity and relationship and relationship. So this data model can be implemented by using the these two types of the these two types of the these two types of the ways. Okay, so first one, object oriented relation data model can be implemented in two ways. First one is the ways, two ways. First one is the object oriented principles, and second one is the relationship between, and this can be defined a relationship between entities and relationship. Okay, so what is object oriented programming? Okay, so what is object, what is entity, what is relation? Okay, can be defined in this class. Okay, so before going to that class, I would like to teach the what is an object oriented programming. Okay, so an object oriented programming language, an object oriented program or an object oriented relation data model can be satisfies the all the properties of the object oriented. Okay, this model, what is the model? Object oriented can be implemented in two ways. First one is the object oriented principles, and second one is the relationship between entity and relationship. Okay, so I would like to tell what is object oriented principles. What is object oriented principles? Okay, so what are the principles? There is a types of principles are available in the object oriented program parallelism. Okay, so in the class there is a what is object, what is class, what is data abstraction, what is inheritance, what is message passing, what is polymorphism, what is dynamic binding. Okay, so these are eight types that belongs to the principles of the object oriented programming. Okay, if any language can be satisfies the all the principle of the OOP principles, that language must and should be called as an object oriented program. Okay, so here is also in the Java class, in the third semester there is a Java class. In Java, Java is a object oriented programming language. Java is a object oriented programming language, but C is a procedure oriented programming language. Why? What is the difference between these two? Because the C language does not satisfy all the properties of the OOP principles. OOP means object oriented principles. But object oriented programming language can satisfy all the properties of the OOP principles. That is called the principles are belongs to eight types. One of the class, object, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, message passing, dynamic binding. These are the eight types. So which languages satisfy all the types of the principles of the eight? That languages belongs to object oriented program. Okay, same like that. Here is also this data model can be satisfies the all the properties of the class, object, class. So OOP principles, that is called, first one is the A is the class, B is the object, C is the data abstraction, D inheritance, and B is polymorphism. F, F is dynamic binding. So here is also dynamic binding, and G. Okay, this is called message passing. So what is this class? What is class? Object, data abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, message passing. Okay, these are available in the Java class. You are already well known it. Okay, so I would like to teach some of these points. So what is class here? Okay, so what is class here? Class is user different data types combining methods and variables, okay, or members, data members, okay, within a single name. Class executes logically, it does not occupy any memory space. Okay, whereas what is object? Object is a physical existence in the real world which can occupy some memory space. Okay, physical existence in the real world, so hence it can occupies the memory space because it executes physically, so hence it occupies the memory space. But whereas class is executes logically, so it cannot occupy any memory space in the memory management system. Okay, so third one is the data abstraction. Data abstraction means to hiding the data, to hide the data from for security. Okay, next inheritance. Inheritance means acquiring the properties from base class to derived class, or one class to get the properties from one class to another class, that is called inherited properties. Next, polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Polymorphism means many forms within a single name, that is known as the polymorphism. Next, dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means don't create object for base class, create for object for derived class. Okay. Next, message passing. Message passing means we can pass the arguments to the needed data. Next, or we can pass the arguments. We can send the parameters. Okay. So these are the belongs to the principles of the object oriented principles. Okay, so these class are already I was discussed in the Java class. You are already aware that class. Okay, so this is the brief description of the these data models. Okay, so if any language can be satisfies the all the types of the all 8 types of the all the 8 types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, something I missed. Depth abstraction. Encapsulation. Sorry, I forget that. Encapsulation. Encapsulation means data hiding. Encapsulation means data hiding. Data abstraction means when we want to write a program without considering the background details, that is called the data abstraction. Okay, so encapsulation is the one of the topic which is used to hide the data. That means to provide the security. Okay, so these are the principles. Okay, so this language, that means this data model, that means this data model, object oriented relational data model can be satisfied these all types of the these 8 types, these 8 types. Okay, and so it is the object oriented relational data model. Okay, so object relational data model can be run in the can run in 2 ways. One is the object oriented principle, and second one is the relationship between entity and the relationships. Okay, what is entities, what is relationship? Okay, so let's do this example. I would like to draw some diagram. Let us take some example. For example, student. This is the a description, just like to show that. Okay, so student, I would like to take a student table and relation subject. Okay, so student contains what? Next name. Next, marks, fees, address, or specialization. Specialization means group. Okay, next, let us take another example, that is called subject. Subject contains what? Marks, memo, activation. Okay, subject contains what? Marks, memo, activation. Subjects 1, 2, animation. Okay, so these are the here student is a logical structure. So student is a here class, and name is also class, marks is also class, fee is also class, specialization is also class. But the student is a logical execution, but marks are available. But marks are available, and fees are also available. Okay, so student is a real existency in the real world, like a class. That means a logical existency. So student is not a, there is no student in the universe. Okay, students are there. Students, degree students, first year students, second year students, BSc, BCom, BCA, BBA, something like that. Okay, so students are logical execution, but Raju student is a physical existence in the real world. So here student is the logical existency and student is the Razu name is a physical existence in the real world. Okay, so now I would like to tell the topic of the relational data model. Okay, so an object shares the similar characteristics of the class. The class is inherited by the attributes and methods. A class a class hierarchy on object oriented relational data model is also in the format of upside downward tree. Okay, the diagram shows the format of the sorry the diagram which represents the object oriented format to data model in the format of UML diagrams. Combine the modeling. UML means what? Unified modeling language diagrams. Okay, in that we have to take some three tables, that is called student table and faculty and subject. Okay, so student, faculty and subject by using the UML diagrams. So what is entity? Entity is the physical existence in the real world which can be represented by the some shape. So I would like to take some subject using ER diagrams. ER means what? Entity relational data model. ER diagrams is always shown by using the concept of the UML diagrams. Okay, so UML diagrams can be represented by using UML diagrams. UML means Unified Modeling Language. Okay, so here I would like to connect the connections. So what is entity? What is entity sets? So what is relationship to? I will tell you in the coming next data model, that is called entity relational data model. Okay, what is entity? What is set? What is attributes? Okay, so today I'll draw a diagram that is called. This is the student information. Student information. I would like to take that next subject. Next, I would like to take the subject. So in the subject, Unicode is always here. Unique key. Okay, what is unique key? I will tell you in the coming classes. So you don't bother about this. Here is also unique key. Okay, unique key. Next, I'm taking another subject, that is I'm taking another database that is called faculty. Faculty. In the table is also containing unique key. Unique key. So let us see. So by using what is ER diagram? ER diagram is always showing diagrams by using the based on the UML diagrams. Okay. So I would like to teach the what is ER relational data model. Okay, by using UML diagrams. Okay, we can simply draw the diagram like this and represent it as a student and subject and faculty. Here I am taking a unique field. Here is also I am taking a unique field. Unique field or unique key. So simply we don't know what is key. So that's why I am writing unique field. Here is also unique field. Here is also unique field. Because I'm not teaching about the keys, so that's why I'm not explaining the types of keys. So here I would like to write the unique field. Okay, so in previous class I was discussed what is unique key, what is non-unique key. Okay, so let us take some three tables. So namely student table, and second one is the subject table, and third one is the faculty table. Here I would like to connecting subjects. Okay, connecting subjects. So here there is associations, one to one association, one to many association, many to one association. Okay, so like that I would like to draw a here. So here a student contains what? Student name, student marks, student fees, student specialization. Okay, so here is also what? Subjects. Okay, subject contains what? There is a number of subjects, subject code, subject name, next author name. Okay, next faculty code contains what? Faculty code, faculty name, and subject name. Okay, so I'm writing here. This is called name. Name is number of people are there. Next group, GRP group. Next marks. Okay, subject code. Here I am like is subject code. Okay, next subject name. So next faculty code, faculty name. Okay, so here I'm connecting like this. So by using which diagrams? By using UML diagrams. So one to many association, one to one association, many to many association. Here we are providing. So I would like to draw here. So one to one association here, one to one association like this, and draw a diagram. So here is the one. So this is the represent the one association, one to one association. Next, I would like to teach. There is a number of association. This connection using by using this connection, like this. Okay, so this represent one to many association because a student can learn many subjects. So that's why student is single, but subjects are more. So hence here I am putting M. Here M represent what? M means many students. So one represent what? One means only one student. Okay, same way I would like to connection between the student and faculty. Okay, student and faculty. Okay, so faculty means what? Here is also one-to-one association. Why? Because a single faculty can teach only one subject to the student. Okay, so here is also not only a single student, so many student is also here. So I would like the connection. Okay, many to one association. Okay, that means many students are available in the class, but one faculty can teach the subject. So in that association, there is a many to one association is possible. Okay, so next I would like to connection between the subject and faculty. So in this subject one, let us see. So this is called many students. This is called single association. Okay. So faculties are many, subject are single subject. Okay. So if you have a comparison subject, can be taught by many faculties. Okay. Next, a faculty can teach, many faculties can teach a single subject is also available. Next, a single subject can be taught by many faculties. So that is also available in the association. That's why we are using one to many association, many to one association, or many to many association is also possible. So here is also writing many to many is also possible because faculties are more, students are more. Okay, if the single student is available, faculties are available. So in this section, we are going to do one to one association is possible, one to many association is also possible. Okay, so this is the relational entity, sorry, object oriented relational data model. This model can be implemented in two ways. First one is the object oriented relational data model, sorry, object oriented principles, and second one is the a difference between that means a difference between the entity and relationship data model. Okay, I hope you everyone understand this lesson. Thanks for watching this. Thank you.